ambisyon ng mga Pilipino.
Simple lang naman po, guminhawa yung buhay namin. Gusto ko pong sustentuhan yung pamilya ko kung ano man yung ginawa nila sa akin ngayon.
Gusto ko magkaroon ako ng sariling house and lot at saka sakyan, tapos kahit maliit na negosyo.
Ako yung araw-araw ko makakain, sa loob ng isang araw, 3 beses dapat. Pangarap ko po matupad po yung ginusto sa akin ng magulang ko.
Sana magkaroon ang gobyerno para sa libreng pagkonsulta, sa libreng hospitalization ng mga kagaya kong senior citizen.
Pangarap ko po sa sarili ko ngayon, unang-una po sa mga anak ko, na magkaroon po silang magandang buhay.
Gusto ko po na makapagtapos kasi para matulungan ko yung tatay ko.
Dream ko siguro is that I may be able to live in a Philippine government which is corrupt-free, a government who is caring to the people, able to provide all the needs, particularly education, food, and shelter for everyone.
Every Filipino aspires to enjoy a matatag, maginhawa, at panatag na buhay. A simple and comfortable life to the Filipino means having a car of their own, a house of their own, and enough money and savings to send their children to school and to afford leisure while travel, a middle-class lifestyle. Upon closer look, these aspirations are achievable to many, but not for all in the immediate term, and they may not be achievable simultaneously. Nonetheless, as people's aspirations are driven by their current condition, they may change eventually and gradually as their lives continue to improve.
AmBisyon Natin 2040 is a program launched by the National Economic and Development Authority or the NEDA. AmBisyon Natin 2040 represents the collective long-term vision and aspirations of the Filipino people for themselves and for the country for the next 25 years. It describes the kind of life that people want to live as well as how the country will look like by 2040. The life of Filipinos in 2040. Matatag, maginhawa, at panatag na buhay. By 2040, Filipinos enjoy a strongly rooted, comfortable, and secure life. Filipino families live together. There is a work-life balance so that there is time to spend with family even for members who work. On weekends, families and friends enjoy time together in parks and recreational centers. It is a high-trust society with a strong sense of community. There are volunteer opportunities and Filipinos spend time to serve the community, help others who are in need, and contribute to various causes. No one is poor, no one is ever hungry. Filipino families live in a comfortable homes with the desired amenities and secure tenure. Families and friends are within the reach because transportation is convenient and affordable. They can make a vacation together within the country and abroad. Children receive quality education so that they realize their full potentials and become productive members of society. Decent jobs that bring sustainable income are available, including opportunities for entrepreneurship. Filipinos are secure over their entire lifetime. They expect to live long and enjoy a comfortable life upon retirement. There are resources to cover unexpected expenses and their savings. They feel safe in all places in the country. Filipinos trust their government because it is free of corruption and provides service to all citizens equally.
All sectors of society, whether public or private, should direct their efforts towards creating opportunities for Filipinos to enjoy a matatag, maginhawa, at panatag na buhay. Government, in particular, must use its tools of fiscal, monetary, regulatory policies to steer the development path towards enabling Filipinos to attain their ambition. This pertains to all dimensions of development: economic, human and physical capital, institutional, social, and cultural. For Filipinos to live in a prosperous, predominantly middle-class society where no one is poor, housing and urban development, manufacturing, connectivity, education services, tourism and allied services, agriculture, health and wellness services.
Poverty has been the main challenge that the Philippines has been facing throughout the years. It is defined as the state of not having enough resources necessary for basic needs. Majority of the Filipinos are poor. Accordingly, 6 out of 10 Filipinos live below the poverty line, wherein there is a severe shortage of proper nutrition, housing, education, and employment opportunities, especially in rural areas. According to Orbeta 2006, the number of people living in poverty is always higher among those with larger family sizes. It is because when there are more mouths to feed, there are less food that goes on each plate. Same goes with the more children to educate, the lesser likely to afford quality and a higher level of education. According to the officials of the National Economic and Development Authority, or NEDA, the country's poverty rate is projected to average between 15.5% and 17.5% in 2021, likely near the 16.6% posted in 2018. Poverty has been part of the most Filipinos' lives. As the rate of poverty continue to grow, the National Economic and Development Authority, or NEDA, find its way to put an end to this crisis. AmBisyon Natin 2040 is the result of a long-term visioning process that began in 2015. It is a picture of the future, a set of life goals and goals for the country. AmBisyon Natin 2040 aims to eradicate poverty and attain a middle-class society in the Philippines by 2040. But the real question is how? How can we possibly turn this vision into a reality? What are the actions, the steps we should consider in order to achieve this goal? Where should we start? As we come across the possible roots of poverty in the Philippines, we observe that some of the major contributors to the fast-growing rate of poverty are: number 1, unemployment and underemployment; number 2, unequal salary distribution; number 3, lack of government support.
When we say underemployment, it is a condition wherein an individual does not have a full-time job, or when an individual's work does not match to their skills. On the other hand, unemployment refers to a situation when a person who is actively searching for employment is unable to find work. Some of the causes of unemployment are structural unemployment, oversupply of graduates, and economic recession. Unemployment and underemployment are the Philippines' most important problems and the key indicators of the weaknesses of the economy. Today, around 4 million workers are unemployed and around 5 million workers are underemployed. This reserve army of workers is a reflection of what happens in the economy. Hence, particularly because of its incapacity to provide jobs to its growing labor force.
Unequal salary distribution or income inequality. But first, what is the unequal salary distribution or income inequality? This refers to the varying incomes of different socioeconomic groups in an economy, and it highlights the gap between those with the highest and lowest income in a country, region, or the whole. In simple terms, it is the uneven distribution of income throughout a population, wherein less equal the distribution, the higher income inequality is. Furthermore, income inequality is often accompanied by wealth inequality, which refers to the uneven distribution of wealth. Those who are likely to receive less than average incomes are those who are the unemployed, the underemployed, the sick, and the disabled, those with poor qualification or low skills, and the elderly.
Political instability. Poor governance and corruption are a major phenomenon affecting poverty in the world today. Corruption and the misuse of public funds resulted in a reduction in the quality of all public service for the country. This includes the fundamental areas of traditional governmental responsibility, such as the police, the justice system, and the provision of elemental infrastructure. It is important that all governmental institutions become aware of the problem that poverty brings to societies and the impact that it has in the economic growth and development of a nation. By becoming fully aware and not ignoring it anymore, policymakers have the responsibility to create laws that will help alleviate poverty in their communities. It is important to tackle it and not to continue blaming the individual citizens for his misfortune, but to provide guidance and opportunities for poor people to step out of the hole they are in.
To address underemployment and unemployment, we must create more jobs. Jobs that will primarily be available to Filipino citizens. The government should focus on producing more jobs that do not require high qualifications such as college degree. Instead, they should concentrate on creating jobs that are centered on the skills that Filipino workers have. When the qualifications for a certain job is lowered and there are more skill-based jobs in the Philippines, there will be more Filipinos who will have the opportunity to work. Therefore, the unemployment rate in the Philippines will be reduced.
Government must also ensure that economic growth is a broad-based across sectors and regions. It must ensure result in more equal income distribution. Government can intervene to promote equity and reduce income inequality through the tax and benefit system. This means employing a progressive tax and benefit system which takes proportionately more tax from those on higher levels of income and redistributes welfare benefits onto those on lower incomes. It is also important that we give attention to job creation in rural areas so they can catch up on the number of jobs available in the urban areas. This plays a vital role in making the salary distribution equal. People in urban areas tend to get higher salaries because investors are focused on the urban areas due to market population. If the market population is equal, may it be rural or urban areas, investors don't need to focus on urban areas alone, thus giving equal opportunity in all areas in the country.
The government should also focus on providing more programs that support the poor, such as free healthcare for the sick, free housing project for the homeless, more assistance program that finance the less fortunate. More importantly, they should provide more affordable yet quality education and build more community college that could teach and train more Filipino citizens. The government must be proactive in setting the agenda for education. They must ensure that every Filipino are able to access a quality and higher level of education to acquire the foundational literacies, obtain more competencies, and develop character qualities. Investing in a quality education is important in molding the future Filipino and creating Philippine society.
The government plays a huge role in the implementation of AmBisyon Natin 2040. This development plan can only be fulfilled if the succeeding three administrations until 2040 have the same goal, and that is to develop the Philippines and turn it into a middle-class society. Currently, our government is doing the following measures in dealing with poverty. The first is, the Philippines signed the Universal Access to Quality Tertiary Education Act in 2017 to encourage more people to enroll in higher education and to address the issue of education inequality. The government subsidizes the cost of tuition for state university and colleges students as well as other expenses such as school supplies. Private institutions also have access to tuition subsidy. The Act aims to decrease the number of dropouts in higher education and promotes the idea that higher education is available to all.
In an effort to improve the healthcare system, President Duterte signed the Universal Healthcare Act in February 2019. The UHC Act provides access to the full spectrum of healthcare by enrolling citizens in the National Insurance Program and granting health coverage to all. The Council will consist of health experts who will assess health developments such as technology, vaccines, and other advancements. Additionally, the Philippines will allocate more funds to PhilHealth, which will improve the quality of service and lower of the cost of medicine.
To further the efforts to support the citizens, the government implemented the Pantawid Familia Filipino program or the 4Ps in 2007. The program gives household grants so long as they meet certain requirements, including keeping the children in school, having regular health checkups, and having parents or guardians attend family development sessions.
With the goal of reducing poverty by strengthening economics, President Duterte signed the Rice Tariffication Law in February 2019, amending the Agricultural Tariffication Act of 1996. The law places a 35% tariff on imported rice with the goal of prioritizing local rice production for the population by stabilizing the supply. The tariff also claims to benefit local farmers by creating a more efficient and competitive agricultural system.
Lastly, there is the Duterte administration who created the Build Infrastructure Plan in 2017. The initial goal of the program was to complete 75 projects, but Duterte revised the plan to instead target 100 projects. Some projects include new public transportation and airport renovations. The government has put about 34% of the projects into action and is expecting to complete 56% by 2022.